Welcome to How to Survive, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like disbanding the FDA, or divorce, or mushrooms.
And the stuff that just makes you wish you were dead.
Like when your muscle tears away from your bone.
Benjamin.
Goo. Or sloppy psychiatrists.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or hallucinations.
I don't want any of that at all.
No, thank you.
Hard pass.
Yeah, you know what I like, though, that I won't pass on?
Tell us.
Our theme song.
Thank you.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, we're back.
We're back.
Guess who's back?
Us.
Have we done that one yet?
I think probably 100 times.
72 times.
Yeah.
Somebody should do a compilation and then send it to us. They have time.
Well, we were just saying, I was just bitching that no one ever sends us snacks because Never Not Funny gets snacks and
They get
treats.
snacks?
They get treats. There's a big.
box
We
of
should
theirs.
just open it and rate it.
Yeah. I mean, we are in the Never Not Funny family, so doesn't that mean
know.
those treats are kind of
Or
for
at
us?
least leftovers.
Who's going to know?
That's,
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
Well, I did take a picture and sent it to Jimmy to say, should I bring this home? But he'll forget.
Yeah, that's true. He's already forgotten.
He already has.
What kind of treats? Like,
We don't
give me-
know. Oh, what
in
they've
general?
Got, well,
yes.
they got a king cake a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's with little babies in it?
Yeah. Well, one baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus, and you
Did anyone find it?
No.
Huh. What happened to Baby Jesus?
somebody ate it.
Baby Jesus was aborted. How was your weekend?
How was my weekend, Danielle? A lot of it I've already forgotten.
Well, you went to a protest.
I did. And I did protest.
Did you guys have speakers at yours?
There were, yeah, in in one section.
Okay.
You know, it was obviously smaller than the one you went to, because you went downtown.
Yeah.
You went to the big one,
Yeah.
the big cool one. Ours was smaller in Glendale. We went to the Glendale protest.
It was probably quaint.
It was quaint. It was very well attended.
Good.
And I was so excited to see that, you know, because it's not a super progressive area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also not conservative. I would say it's kind of mixed.
Okay.
You know, about down the middle.
Your neighbors were there, I'm sure.
None of my neighbors were
Carrying
there.
an effigy of...
Yes, carrying their Kamala effigy.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see some people there I knew. Elizabeth was there, our friend Elizabeth and her husband. And then I saw another woman I knew. But I mean, very good signs. We saw some great signs. And so the speakers were kind of in a back corner because it was held at the Social Security building
Okay.
area, which was right by the Americana. And so there was a lot of
that's
traffic and people just honking and supporting and chanting. And
Oh, cool.
so it was really great. I'm so glad we went. And I'm sad we didn't make signs.
Oh, you didn't make signs?
No, it was all very like getting there kind of late because of kid pickups and things we had to do. So that's just how it worked out. How was your March experience? Protest experience, I should say.
Well, we were actually going to go to one nearer to us.
yeah.
And it was confusing as to whether it was still happening.
Oh, okay.
Because when you went to the main website, it wasn't listed. But when you went to the Mobilize website, it was. And I signed up to RSVP to it.
Yeah.
And I got messages, but I was like, it's going to be a waste of time if we go there and there's no... So anyway, we ended up going downtown and it was gigantic. And it's one of those things where it's so big that like you think you hear people talking. And I still to this moment don't know if there were speakers or not.
Okay.
Because it's you know, it's just really packed.
Yeah.
And we didn't start walking for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then when we started walking, that was fine, but we had to turn around because we had a movie to go to.
Sure.
So we didn't watch the whole thing. But we did come across someone who was just in downtown and had no idea what was going on.
Interesting.
And he was like, when was this? Was this just spontaneous? And we're like, no, it's, you know, it's been on social media
Yes.
and all that kind of thing. So that was sort of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we saw,
What was the movie?
we went to see Bonnie and Clyde,
The original.
the original. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's very cool. It's really depressing. I don't know why. I just found it so depressing, but very good.
It's Warren Beatty, right?
Warren Beatty and
That woman, yes, I
hold
know.
on, Faye Dunaway.
Yep.
And Gene Hackman.
Oh,
and
right.
Gene Wilder has a part in it.
Oh.
And it's so funny because if you didn't know, like Jimmy had to point out to me at the end, because I said, you know, it was so funny, his scene, that it was almost like it was from a different movie. And he said, but that's because we know who Gene Wilder is. Like, if you didn't know who Gene Wilder was at the time, which you probably wouldn't have because it was 1967,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have seemed so. I mean, it was really funny. He was so
Okay.
Gene Wilder in
Yes.
the moment. He's just part of this couple where they take the couple's car, and then the couple goes after them in another car, and then the couple decides this is not worth it. We're not going to go after them. So then the gang that chases them down,
Yeah.
and then they put them in their car, and then it's very funny.
I'm not sure if I've seen it. I
You should see it.
Yeah. I feel like I must have, because I went through a phase in my 20s when I was like, I have to watch every Warren Beatty movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rent them because that was when you rented
Yes.
VHS movies for your VCR.
Yes.
And because I remember like watching Reds.
I've never seen Reds.
You should. I really want to talk to you guys about White Lotus, but I think we should get into the topic.
We really do have to get into
and
the
then
topic.
maybe we'll have time at the end, and if not, we can always talk about it on a bonus episode
Yes.
for April. I have no segue to this.
That's okay.
Except this does connect to White Lotus on a certain level, because we're going to talk about how to survive deadly mushrooms.
Oh.
This is not mushrooms on the show on White Lotus, but there is a poisoning.
Did you watch the finale, I'm
Yes.
assuming?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that, I think, doesn't tell you anything except that people get into some bad stuff on White Lotus.
Yes.
All right. So,
I think that's the thesis of the show. Rich people get into some bad stuff.
yeah, that is the
That's
log.
That's how he pitched it.
That's how I pitched it. Let's follow, all of us, this common sense rule
Yes.
about wild mushrooms.
Oh.
Avoid them.
Okay.
All right? I don't know why I did my arms like this. I think I'm Mary Catherine Gallagher from
Yes. Yes.
So there's about 10,000 species of fungi,
Holy moly.
but only a tiny number will kill you.
Okay.
But you would think, like, with those odds, well, you'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But because they might kill you, you should just still stay away. Mm-hmm. Here's another reason. It's hard to tell the lethal ones from the okay ones,
Okay.
right? And the appropriately named death cap looks like a lot of the other okay mushrooms.
Oh boy.
Okay, so if that's the one I'm going to talk about first, is the death cap. This mushroom accounts for more than half of all the known mushroom poisonings.
Okay.
Half, speaking of half, of a small one can kill an adult man. Okay, and they're native to Europe, but they're also showing up in North America. So watch your back, Garen.
Oh, those mushrooms.
Right? Okay, so this looks like any common small white mushroom. Right?
Oh.
You might see it on a pizza.
Oh boy.
The poison is amanitin, which contains 8 other toxins. Famous people who may have died from eating death caps include the Roman Emperor Claudius. That could come up.
Claudius.
Hey, there you go. I just gave you a question for the game show.
Not for the show.
And and Holy Roman Emperor Charles the Seventh. I think 7th is a V and a 1, right? No,
would be
6.
six.
Sorry, 6. And that was in the 1700s. Unlike other mushrooms, death caps are just as deadly when cooked, raw, frozen, or dried.
Okay.
Do you guys want to know what happens if you eat one?
Yeah, I guess you die.
I mean, do you want to know the specifics?
I do.
Okay.
Walk me
It's right in
through
the
it.
name, Chris.
Jesus.
Well, I was going to say, how do you know not to avoid those? Aren't they labeled?
Good point, but not in the forest.
Ah.
Symptoms occur 6 to 24 hours after eating and include all the greatest hits, guys. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. Here's this part I think is nuts because this is what like really freaks me out. So you go to the hospital, right, with all these symptoms, and you're like, I feel better. And they go, okay, goodbye. And the hospital, or, they send you home, right? And then all the pain comes crashing back along with jaundice, convulsions, coma, and death.
Jesus.
So you can get better and then like completely regress.
I'm assuming if you go in with all these symptoms and say you've eaten a mushroom,
Yes.
they're going to do tests. But if you happen to leave out that you ate mushrooms because you didn't think that's what it was, and then they see you're better and send you home.
But I don't know that there's like they can do like a death cap mushroom test either. Like,
Well, sure they can. Can't they? A toxicology test. Can't they do that?
But
Maybe by that time you're dead.
yes, but it's also, there's not an antidote.
Oh, you're just fucked.
You're just like, we hope you recover.
You can't
They can
throw it up enough to get rid of it.
It's not, yes, they can do what they can do, which is like, maybe they can have you do some charcoal, maybe they can induce vomiting, but like, it's not like we have an antidote that we can give you. Like there's a snake bite and we have the antivenom. It's not, there's no death cap mushroom, like here's the medicine.
It's not like marinara sauce is going to reverse it.
That would be great.
Doesn't that sound so good?
Mushrooms.
I love
Yes.
I love spaghetti with mushrooms.
Me too. And you can have after effects for life if you survive.
Whoa.
Right? So you can have major issues for life because this is doing like organ damage.
Jesus.
All right. I got another mushroom for you. This one's called fly algaric. Okay. So this one is the one that, like, you know, when you see like tweens and they have mushrooms on their necklace, all cute. It's the little red top and the little white dots on it.
Yeah.
That's what this mushroom looks like in real life.
Okay.
They aren't actually wearing poison mushrooms on their necklace. And like the Mario Brothers mushroom. Mm-hmm. That's what this mushroom looks like. This is the one you see in fairy tale books.
Excuse me, his name is Toad?
Sorry.
He's an anthropomorphic mushroom?
Yeah, there's a whole race
I knew you'd know.
Okay.
of toads.
So it has the bright red cap and the white spots. The fly name, this comes from the fact that people used to put these in milk to trap and kill flies. So they used it as like an insecticide.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this one has something called ibotenic acid and, I don't know if I'm saying this right, muscimol. This is the psychoactive compound. Mm-hmm. And both of these act on your central nervous system. Okay? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen if you eat one. You could experience delirium, manic behavior, delusions, and convulsions.
Jesus.
So you could get like crazy high, but also, you know, bad stuff.
But that's not the one that people...
No, this isn't the I'm not
that thing.
That one. Mm-hmm. It's not a magic mushroom. You may feel drunk and small objects may seem very large or vice versa.
It's like wearing these glasses.
Exactly. You're wearing magic mushroom glasses.
I'm wearing...
You're wearing fly algaric glasses.
Is that what Alice got into?
That is what Alice got into in Alice in Wonderland. These are these mushrooms.
Oh.
So you can have symptoms come on in as little as 30 minutes and last up to 4 hours. The only treatment is moral support.
Oh, God.
Because anything else may worsen the reaction.
Or morale support.
Morale
Support.
Nice. So just reassure your victim that the poisoning is merely temporary. Reports of human death from this poisoning are extremely rare. Yes. Fun fact is that the story of Alice in Wonderland, and this was also common, these mushrooms were also common on Christmas cards in Victorian and Edwardian times as a symbol of good luck. Its colors are thought to have inspired Santa Claus's red and white suit.
Oh, wow.
Get out.
I can't.
I thought Coca-Cola inspired Santa Claus's red and white suit.
Yeah, they want you to think that because they want you to drink more Coke and Diet Coke. And we shall accommodate them.
No problem.
False morel is the next one. So this mushroom looks like the human brain, not even a morel. So it's weird that it's called false morel.
I don't think I'm going to eat anything that looks like the human brain to begin with.
I'm trying to think if I'll eat anything that looks like... Is there anything that looks like a human brain that I'd eat?
Gefilte fish.
No, thank you.
No. Hard pass.
My husband would. He likes all that disgusting fish. Okay. It's still often commonly mistaken for a morel for some reason.
Okay.
It can be fatal if eaten raw. But this is considered a delicacy in parts of Scandinavia and Eastern Europe when properly cooked. Mm-hmm. I'm still not going to do it when I'm in those places.
I'm not eating anything that well, I guess you could say that about almost anything. But if it's like...
You might die.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Like, what's that? Is it blowfish or what is that?
Oh, yeah, that weird fish.
That expensive fish.
Yes.
Poison.
We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
How many people died to find out the proper way to cook that thing?
So many.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about the mushrooms is like, first of all, what made anyone eat them to begin with?
Survival.
And then you just, I guess, eventually see enough dead people on the path and you go,
Yeah.
I guess that one's poisonous.
Don't eat those mushrooms. Yeah. So there's a culprit in this mushroom called gyrometrin, and this is a toxic compound that converts in human bodies to something called MMH. This is produced when the mushroom is partially heated. MMH is also used as a propellant for rockets.
Whoa.
If that gives you any
Holy
indication
shit.
of its toxicity.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So here's what happens if you eat one. Same greatest hits of symptoms, the D and the V, the convulsions, and yes, you can die from liver damage. Treatments may include infusions of vitamin B6. Doesn't mean that's a cure. It just might mean it's going to potentially help offset some of the damage.
Okay.
All right, I got an autumn skull cap.
Ooh.
These grow everywhere in the world on dead wood. Okay?
Oh.
And they may be confused with some edible mushrooms such as honey fungus, but do you want to take that chance?
No, thank you.
Let's not, okay? The toxic agent is the same as the one found on the death cap, so don't eat mushrooms growing on dead wood. And that's all I'm going to say about that mushroom.
Are these poisonous if you touch them?
Some, they can be sometimes the spores. So I don't know specifically which mushroom and which one isn't, so I would just say avoid.
Yeah.
And whenever we're out in the forest, like my kids are so into mushrooms and like talking about them and looking at them and examining them. But Sven is always like, don't touch or wash your hands immediately. So
Is there an app? There probably is.
I'm
where
sure.
you can scan it like
There
you
probably
can for
is.
plants and
I
stuff.
think so.
there probably is, but I would still be worried that the app
course.
would make a mistake and I would end
Oh,
up dead.
yeah. You want to die by app.
I don't want to die by app. That's a stupid way to
Not
die.
unless it's a mozzarella stick.
That's a good one, Garen. I liked that.
Thank you.
Alcohol inky.
Oh,
This one's interesting to me. Okay, so
that's one of the ghosts, right, in Pac-Man?
it is. It's the one that always got me. I was never good at that game. They're fine by themselves and will absolutely destroy you if you have booze with them.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So this is because they contain coprine, which is an amino acid that interacts with alcohol, okay? So coprine is not itself poisonous. What it does, though, when taken with alcohol is it exacerbates the worst symptoms of alcohol intoxication. So this includes flushing in the face and neck, headache, nausea, and it leaves your body susceptible to alcohol poisoning. So in other words, you can eat an alcohol inky cap without booze,
Yeah.
then be okay, have a drink a few days afterward, and still get seriously ill.
Days.
Yeah. So the reaction can start between 30 minutes to 2 hours after eating. Your pulse speeds up, you get flushed, have a headache, feel weak and dizzy, then barf. Fortunately, recovery takes place a few hours later. So it doesn't sound like this one's going to kill you, but like you could really feel like you have serious alcohol poisoning.
Wow.
So again, stay away. Here's one, deadly web cap. This one doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
Okay, so this one is especially fond of the subalpine forests such as Mount Rainier National Park. So sounds like up in like Oregon, Washington, places like that, or maybe you're going to find this. This is a newer one. Listen to this. Wasn't known to be dangerous until 1972 when 4 people in Finland ate it, 2 of whom experienced permanent kidney failure.
Wow.
7 years later, 3 people in Scotland mistook it for a chanterelle. 2 of them required liver transplants.
Oh, God.
Nicholas Evans, who wrote The Horse Whisperer, his wife and 2 family members were poisoned in 2008 when they mistook deadly webcap for seps, which is an edible mushroom. All 4 victims eventually received kidney transplants.
Oh, my God.
Including his wife, who had only eaten 3 mouthfuls.
Wow.
Don't fuck with mushrooms.
Don't fuck with mushrooms.
All right. Ergot or spurred rye. You guys will be familiar with this. So this is a fungus. It's a parasite that grows on rye and other grasses.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fungus, so it's still considered part of the fungi family.
So it doesn't maybe look like a mushroom?
No.
Okay.
And it's maybe even invisible. People never willingly eat it, but rather eat bread made with infected grain. In a 1976 article in Science magazine, author L.R. Caporael theorized that an outbreak of ergotism may have caused the execution of 20 men and women in the 1692 Salem witch trials. which we did a whole episode on this.
Right.
And
Right. We did mention that.
And I think it came up.
Yeah.
Those accused of witchcraft all had similar symptoms, including manic melancholia, psychosis, and delirium. Further, the author notes a weather period that would have been conducive to producing a lot of ergot on rye grown in the area's lowlands. So, if you eat this bad rye, you're going to get the cramps, the spasms, the hallucinations.
Stalk the devil.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Demons.
Yep.
Right. Start accusing
Cast
people.
spells.
Shit.
You might get rocks tied to your feet and thrown into a lake to see if you drown or float. And you could also get gangrene.
Oh,
That's a new one.
yikes.
Don't want that. This has historically been implicated in epidemics that caused thousands of fatalities. In 1951, in a small town in France, people who bought bread from the local bakery developed burning sensations in their limbs, began to hallucinate that they could fly, and one boy even tried to strangle his mother.
Oh, my God.
Although it was never proven spurred rye is thought to have been the cause. That was a really interesting story. I almost did it for our story, but then I got another one that I think is so much better, and I'm so excited to tell you guys all about it.
Is there a chance that could happen today here with...
In this administration?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
With the cuts to all these things, like I'm sure
Yeah.
the FDA is going to be on the chopping block any day now.
Yeah.
If it isn't already. Is that possible that could creep up here again?
I don't see why not.
Well, you know, if
Yikes.
you're unlocked.
I'm sure Kennedy will say it's a, cure for measles or something.
I mean, the fluoride's coming out of the water, right? Isn't that happening in some states right now?
I don't know.
Anyway, we're not talking about that on this episode. We're going to give you some advice now.
Yes.
I want to survive you. Do you guys want me to survive you?
Please survive me.
Okay, so this actually came from scoutingmagazine.org. So if there's a concern that you or someone has accidentally or on purpose ingested a mushroom from the forest, we're not talking about mushrooms you buy from the grocery store, right? We're going to assume for now those are safe.
I want everyone to know I was joking when I said they're labeled. You reacted to me so seriously. I was like, well, she doesn't think that I think that there are labels in the forest, right?
Yes, I think I
put them there.
I think I think we knew, and I was hopefully playing along.
Yes,
Sorry if I
I'm
missed
sure you
that.
were. No, I'm sure you were.
In this example that the Scouting magazine used, a child made an omelet using forest mushrooms, made one for his scout leader. He'd already eaten his, right? So then what do? Okay. So first of all, don't eat it, right? And now, since we know there are a variety of things that might happen to that kid, right? From diarrhea to hallucinations to coma to death, we want to get them to the hospital immediately. So here's some advice. I took this verbatim from the site because it's important, so I'm just going to read it. Depending on the type of mushroom eaten, the onset of symptoms might not occur for as many as 24 hours. Write down the following information: the near precise time the mushrooms were eaten, all types ingested, if you know, and the amount of each. This is important if the toxins from one variety mask the symptoms of another. Because what if that kid went and foraged 7 different mushrooms?
Okay.
Right? Because the nearest hospital might not be equipped to accurately identify the mushrooms. Telemedicine or the internet may be used for remote diagnosis. You can assist medical personnel by taking careful photos of each type of mushroom ingested, which could be sent to another facility for identification. Note that the mushroom should be kept in a zip-top bag and not handled, since inhalation of spores can also be dangerous.
Whoa.
Right? That's what we were talking about earlier about the touching, and you don't want to even breathe in the spores. So even think about that if you're walking, when they say stay on the trails, you don't want to be stomping on poisonous mushrooms with the spores coming up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
keep that in mind just when you're on a hike.
Yikes.
There's wild mushrooms growing everywhere.
Right.
It seems pretty unlikely. I've never heard of a death from somebody
Right.
stomping on wild mushrooms,
Yeah.
but just stay on the trails. If you find that the nearest emergency room is many hours away, research suggests that the administration of activated charcoal can delay or limit the absorption of most toxins, and it's often used for victims of mushroom poisoning, regardless of when the mushrooms were eaten. Activated charcoal sold at retail stores typically comes in capsule or liquid form. So, you might be closer to a Walmart.
Or maybe just bring them with you if you're going to go camping. Or
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it in a recommended take this camping with you, but
Maybe,
it's not the worst idea, right? Use it only as a last resort. And if you can't reach a hospital quickly, if possible, contact a poison control center by phone before administering. If you're deep in the backcountry, the BSA Field Book, that's the Boy Scouts of America Field Book, advises scouts who've ingested poisonous plants to induce vomiting. Save the vomit in a plastic bag.
I mean,
Look,
but if they can't
That's to help
there's
identify.
no antidote, then why did they need so badly to know? It's not like snake bites. Why did they need so badly to know what
Well,
kind
I think
of mushroom it
because
is?
they know then how to treat, like different, to do whatever they can do.
Okay.
I think that's just, I don't know. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
All right.
To help
I mean, that
identify the
one-
mushroom.
That one is B6 treats it. So if they know that
Right.
it's that
Yeah.
that
Okay.
brand,
That brand of mushroom.
What brand did you get? It's from Trader Joe's. Are you guys ready for a story?
Yes.
All right. So this is, to me, a very interesting story, and I'm going to share it with you and how I came across it in real time.
Okay.
Because I read the first one, and then I was like, let me see if there are updates. So I'm going to give you those updates as I go. Mushroom poisoning deaths. Family lunch mystery grips Australia. This is from August 2023. 2 Saturdays ago, 5 people sat down for a family meal in a tiny Australian town. Within a week, 3 would be dead,
Ooh.
a 4th fighting for his life, and the 5th under investigation for potentially poisoning her guests with wild mushrooms. But the 48-year-old woman who cooked the lunch says she has no idea what happened and that she loved her family and wouldn't hurt them. The peculiar case has captured national attention, puzzled police, and left a tight-knit community reeling. The unusual tale began when Gail and Don Patterson stopped for lunch at their former daughter-in-law, Erin Patterson's home in Leongatha, a 2-hour drive southeast of Melbourne. With them were the Wilkinsons, Heather, Gail's sister, and her husband, Ian. So this would be her, aunt and uncle.
Right.
In-law. All 4 were much-loved members of the nearby town of Corumburra, where Ian was the local Baptist. Local bastard.
local bastard.
He's a local bastard. Local Baptist church pastor. But it was no ordinary lunch. Hours after the meal, all 4 guests took themselves to the local hospital with what they first believed was severe gastro. It quickly became clear it was something far worse, and they were transferred to a hospital in Melbourne to receive the best medical care the state had to offer. Despite that, Heather, 66, and Gail, 70, died on Friday, and Don, 70. On Saturday, Ian, 68, remains in a critical condition in hospital awaiting a liver transplant. Police say they believe the 4 ate death cap mushrooms, which are highly lethal if ingested. Oddly, Erin is fine.
Oh, boy,
But
Erin.
beyond that, little is clear. Investigators say they aren't sure if Erin ate the same food as her guests or even if the mushrooms were in the dish that she served. They also pointed out that she was separated from her husband, who is the Patterson son.
I was wondering where he was.
Yeah, where the fuck is
Okay.
he? But described it as an amicable split. Nefarious activity has not yet been ruled out, though. At this point in time, the deaths are unexplained. The homicide squad's Dean Thomas told reporters on Monday. It could be very innocent, but we just don't know. Miss Patterson says she can't fathom what has happened. Crying as she spoke to reporters outside of her home, she declined to answer questions about what meals were served to which guests or where the mushrooms had come from.
She declined to answer?
But she did.
Okay.
She did profess her innocence. I didn't do anything. I loved them. Okay. So I'm going to move on to, because the rest is all about death cap mushrooms.
Okay.
Because there's got to be updates on this. This was from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me see what's up. Okay, here's an update from The Independent, another news source. Victoria police have launched a homicide investigation and are treating Miss Patterson as a suspect in the killings. Erin Patterson has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and has not been charged by Victoria police. Erin Patterson did not attend the service. Oh, this is about the service for the people who died. The mother of 2 gave a sworn written statement to police documenting her recollections of the July 29 lunch where she served beef Wellington to her 4 guests. That is a dish that is served with mushrooms commonly. She claimed she bought the dehydrated mushrooms from a grocer in Mount Waverly at least 3 months before the lunch and rehydrated them before mixing them into the dish with supermarket-bought mushrooms. Miss Patterson also admitted she had intentionally disposed of a food dehydrator that police found in a skip bin at the Coonawarra transfer station after people began accusing her of intentionally poisoning the meal, according to broadcaster ABC. Toxicology reports have not confirmed that the lunch guests ingested the poisonous mushrooms, but police initially believed their symptoms were consistent with death cap mushrooms. All right. Are you ready for another update?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is from about 7 months ago.
It's not looking good for Victoria?
No, Victoria's where they live.
Aaron Patterson
Aaron.
to face trial
Good, Aaron.
nearly 2 years after allegedly murdering relatives with mushroom lunch. All right. Erin Patterson, the woman accused of murdering and attempting to murder her relatives by serving them a meal laced with deadly mushrooms, is expected to face trial in Latrobe Valley in April. That's this month.
Holy Ghost.
Patterson, 49, is charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder after hosting an allegedly fatal lunch at her house in regional Victoria. She is accused of murdering 3 guests who attended lunch at her Leongatha property on 29 July. Don and Kill Patterson, the parents of her estranged husband, Simon Patterson, along with his aunt Heather Wilkinson. Patterson served beef Wellington, a dish containing mushrooms. She also is alleged to have attempted to murder Simon Patterson on 3 occasions in 2021 and 2022.
Wait, is that the estranged husband?
Yes.
Okay.
Patterson has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The 2 final counts of attempted murder also relate to the lunch and Simon Patterson, who was invited but did not attend, and Heather's husband, Ian Wilkinson, who was left critically ill after the lunch but was discharged from hospital in September. Her trial is expected to start on 28 April 2025 in the Supreme Court sitting in Morwell.
Let's get a Google alert on that.
Yes,
guys.
we need an update.
Also, let's get Elsbeth on that because she would have caught
Yeah,
this immediately.
100%.
So apparently
Did you eat the mushrooms also? Or are you vegetarian?
I have to watch it so I understand the references.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch it with my kids because they're going on a murder kick of shows.
Oh, it's fun. They'll
These 3 other attempted murders were poisonings as well.
Girl.
That I believe of food. I don't know, but they just referenced them. The husband was meant to attend, but I guess at the last minute was like not available, or maybe he was like, she's gonna poison me again. But I'm not going to that lunch. I got sick the last time I ate with her. It doesn't say much about why he wasn't able to attend at the last minute.
Wow.
But I guess this is riveting Australia. Like, it's a huge case. It's a huge, massive.
Dingo ate my baby levels.
Yes, it is Dingo ate my baby levels. And what's funny is when it first came up, and I had Googled poison mushroom survival story or something, and it came up, but it was very innocuous of these people died and they ate at their former daughter-in-law, but it was an older one, and I was like, something seems off, because they weren't saying anything about it being attempted murder yet. And so it was fun to kind of.
Well, you will have to update us as this goes along.
Oh, I
want a weekly summary of the trial.
I hope they are broadcast. I don't know if I have court TV, but I'm like, I want to watch this.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, our guest is here. So
yes.
We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Can't wait.
We are back.
Welcome back.
How was your break?
I got some bad news.
Did you really?
Yeah, about Benjamin.
What? About his groin?
Yeah, he tore his muscle off of his bone.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that doesn't sound good.
He tore one of his thigh muscles off his hip. I didn't even know that was a thing.
How do you fix it?
Guess what? It will heal on its own.
Well, he's young, so this is her son, who's 12.
No 4 to 8 weeks of rest. So his soccer season is over, and now I get to deal with a sad 12-year-old for the next 2 months. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, poor thing.
Oh, man. It's going to be a lot of Will Trent.
Yeah.
I get to watch a lot of bad TV detective shows.
Oh, we watched I don't know if Jimmy mentioned it on Never Not Funny, but we watched a 3-part docu-series on this treasure hunt.
Yeah.
That might be right up his alley.
The Fen?
For sure.
Yeah. The guy's name is Forrest Fenn, and it's called The Search for Greed and Gold. There's a little bit of death in it. Yeah. But mainly it's pretty intriguing. Okay. So he might find that interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
On Netflix. Oh, poor kid.
Oh, jeez, what are we gonna do with him?
Jesus.
Okay. Anyway, that was my break.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Well, on the first half of the show, we talked about poisonous mushrooms.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about hallucinations with our guest, Olivia Flood-Wylie.
Yay!
Hi, Olivia.
Yay!
How
you for
Olivia-
coming.
Olivia
you for
is a
having me.
very funny stand-up comedian, and I've seen her perform. She's very, very funny.
Am I allowed to also say I'm obsessed with your hair?
She has the prettiest hair.
So pretty.
Is it your real color?
It is not my real color.
But
no.
is the curl real?
the curl is real?
God,
yeah.
it's like
So impressive.
Raphaelic.
Yes, it
Raphael,
is.
like you should just be in a shell.
Thank you.
You know, just like
Olivia on
standing
the
in a-
half shell. I would
yes.
always, yeah.
Oh, that's a special name right
Olivia
there.
on the half shell.
Oh, you may have to do a stand-up special now.
I do regret the bangs anytime I have anything that pulls the rest of my hair back.
That
'cause
doesn't
it
look
gets,
bad, no.
It gets a little Hermione Granger, I think,
But
pretty
that's not
quickly.
bad.
No.
Well, early
Even
Hermione.
in the book, it says that she has crazy frizzy hair, but then in the movie, it's like she's
she's
pretty
she's
together.
pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Olivia, so you don't have any gigs to plug, but
No, I could have been plugging that I was going to open for Jimmy this Saturday.
oh, that's right. But this doesn't come
instead-
out till
Yeah.
Tuesday. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you may have
And
seen. Yeah.
I'm not even doing it.
oh, what? Oh, you're not doing it?
No, it's my 30th birthday, so I was like,
Happy
my
birthday.
gosh.
He did tell me that.
yeah, I did invite your family, but
Oh, that's
he
very
said
sweet.
instead he will give 100% of Flappers. This
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Jimmy and Oliver are doing their show at Flappers again. Okay, so Olivia,
Yes.
you've had some sort of experience with hallucinations.
Yes.
Walk us through it.
Okay. So it's not drug-related hallucinations
Okay.
in the
Okay.
way that you might think.
Sure.
Drugs are related, but not fun ones.
Okay.
So just to preface everything, I am just wildly mentally ill. That's just an important thing to going into
Gotcha.
it. I had just moved home from Amsterdam. I was living with my parents, and just doing, even for me, awful.
Oh, okay.
And
you're what, early 20s at this point or
No,
so?
I moved back like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this was 27.
Okay.
And I had to get mental health care for free because I had no money.
Okay.
So I was going through a clinic, and they gave me a free therapist and a free psychiatrist. And my therapist was doing her best. I think she
had a lot on her
She had a
plate.
lot on her plate. I think she was younger than me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and she also had just an iconic line that I was trying to explain to her how, like, I did improv and I did stand up, and she like really struggled with the comedic world and keeping all of that straight.
Yes.
And at one point she was like, "Now remind me, is this improv or is this comedy?"
Oh, no.
And I was like, oddly, you've sort of stumbled onto the truth there, actually. But
out of the mouth of babes.
she was doing her best, and then my psychiatrist just sort of like openly did not care about me at all.
Oh.
She gave me a new diagnosis, which was bipolar 2.
Okay.
And then she put me on Zoloft. And my brother-in-law is like a sells medication for bipolar 2, and he was like, Zoloft can trigger a manic episode in people with bipolar.
Okay.
And I was like, I feel like my doctor should have been the one who told me that,
Yeah.
and not my brother-in-law. But whatever. So she put me on Zoloft, and I felt like really twitchy and strange. And I came back and I was like, I feel a little crazy. And she was like, so it sounds like it's confirming the diagnosis of bipolar 2. And
She's saying that you being on this medication
feeling insane
means she was right.
is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, I'm really
So
worried about this clinic.
Her, This is her test.
Yeah, so she was
puts you on
like,
something.
she was
Okay.
like, nice, I nailed this one. Finally, I finally got a diagnosis correct. That's great.
That's how it works. You know it works.
Yeah, exactly. So she
really understands medicine.
Personally very excited. Yeah. And so she increased my dose.
Oh,
And she genuinely, over the phone, she was like, have your family sort of keep an eye out for if you're acting strange. So she doubled my dose. And I remember I was at my cousin's son's birthday party, and I was feeling very weird. And I couldn't tell if it was because it was a 10-year-old's birthday party that I was at, and it was all adults. And like one child,
oh no! Like that commercial.
like all our family, and then just the child.
the child didn't have any friends.
And he kept trying to make everyone swim with him, and no one wanted to swim.
Oh God.
It was very sad. And I was like, maybe I just feel weird because the circumstances are
Yeah.
sort of surreal. And then we got home that night, and I started having auditory hallucinations. So I was hearing things that weren't there. I don't know why I just recapped what auditory hallucinations are. Hallucination is something that's not there. And an auditory one is what you hear. But I was watching TV with my parents, and I kept making them pause the TV because I was like, there's something going on in this room.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys have to hear that. Like, you have to know that, like, something is wrong. And it was, like, electrical noises that I was hearing, like zaps and buzzing. And I was like, I think something's going on with our house. Like, I was like, something is wrong, like, in the walls of our house. And my parents kept being like, we don't hear anything, sweetheart. Like, I don't think anything is, I don't think it's happening. And I was like, listen, I'm perfectly prepared to accept that I am insane. But you guys don't hear each other that well to begin with. So I don't know that you're the people that I want to be determining if I'm crazy or not. I was like, can we get like a neighbor in here?
Yes.
Like someone under 60 who could maybe validate my feelings a little bit. But I was also aware that like calling my sister and being like, our parents think I'm crazy, but you hear this, right? You hear it. I don't think that was going to like calm anybody down at all. And I would not accept that it wasn't happening. And I was like, finally they just like stopped the TV because they were like, this is getting out of hand. And I was lying upside down on our couch, and I was just like holding on to my dad, like, and I just kept being like, is it real? Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy, or is it real? And my dad said, he goes, it is in your head, but that doesn't mean it's not real, which is very sweet.
Yeah.
But it is also a Dumbledore quote. I was like, that's not. I was like, that's not exactly the vibe that I was looking for in this moment. Thank you, Dad. I know what that's from. Like, you didn't come up with that.
And Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, also when Dumbledore said that, Harry was like dead. So I don't know if that's that comforting all around.
Oh my God.
And then he called you Hermione.
Yes, exactly. So many parallels.
All goes back.
It all goes back to Harry Potter. So yeah, I mean, I just sort of continued to feel insane and hear things that weren't there. And then I called my psychiatrist the next day, and she had like no reaction, like no response, like not even like whoops. At all, or like my bad.
Yeah,
like she was just like, she was like, wow, that's crazy. Like it felt like I was telling like a friend who was high. Was like,
Right.
dude, that's insane. That's so crazy. That happened to you. Wow. And so then she just lowered my dose and put me on lithium.
And did that take care of it?
I stopped having hallucinations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it just one day you were having hallucinations?
It was just one day. It was very short lived.
So scary.
That's wild that like she thought, I mean, I'm just so astounded because it's like this person who's there to know about what not to put you on and is like not going to take any accountability or.
Oh, yeah. No. There was another time where we were supposed to have a phone consultation, and she just missed the call. Like she never called me. And then she called me like 4 hours later, and I was in the car with my mom, and she was like, yeah, sorry, something came up.
Oh my God.
But can you talk now? And I was like, I actually can't talk now. I'm in the car with my mom. And she was like, okay, got it. So anyway, your test results came in, and just like steamrolled straight through it. I was like, well, I guess we're doing this right now, because otherwise I'm not going to hear from you again.
I hope she's not currently still your person.
She's not currently my psychiatrist.
That's good.
No,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I got a new one, and she was like, oh my God. She was so upset.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Mm-hmm. You want that. You
Yeah.
want someone to be upset on your behalf.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I had a different psychiatrist who I had a seizure from my medication.
Oh my God.
Because he put me on the Supermax dose because it wasn't working. So it's like, you're only supposed to take 300, and he put me on 450.
Jesus.
And I like passed out. I hit my head. I had a seizure, and I went to the hospital. And the emergency room doctor was like, that's a really high dose. Like, she was like, I take 300, and 450 seems like medical malpractice to me.
Wow.
And again, I called my psychiatrist, and he was a different guy. And he was like, no, yeah, okay, we'll take you back down then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As long as there's a solution.
Yeah.
I think they're never gonna act like they fucked anything up because they're so worried about being sued.
Yeah.
They're never going to be like, oh shit. But it's also like, I mean, it sucks when, you know, I think a lot of us in this room are, you know, managing mental illness with medication without outing anyone. You have to be such an advocate for yourself. Yeah. And it's also often at the worst time for you to try to be an advocate.
Yeah, you're completely incapacitated.
You're vulnerable and you're also like, I need help. And you have to trust that they're doing the right thing for you, but you also have to consider your other medical possibilities of like, is this going to interact with the other medication that I already take? And you're going to hope that they've already looked at your chart and went, oh, so she takes this and she shouldn't take these two together. But I've often had to go, hey, is this going to interact with this other medication I have to take for this other thing?
Yeah, and then you have to ask.
You have to
like,
ask.
oh, yeah, that'd be really bad if you took those together.
Yeah. So it does feel like you're in the wild, wild west when it comes to psychiatry. And that kind of stuff is...
Yeah, it's scary.
It is scary.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Also, you were hallucinating something that could be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like voices telling you to murder. It was
demon running around the house. Like you're hearing like something that could be dangerous.
Well, I have a lot of friends who, because I was in sober living for a long time, so I have a lot of friends who used meth, and they said one of the hardest things about like it right now is that you'll be like, people are listening to me through my phone, and other people have to be like, yes. That is happening. Like, you can't be like, that's not happening. It's like, on a theoretical level, you're totally correct. People are listening to your phone. They're tracking all of your data. But to be a sane human these days, you just have to set a certain amount of that aside.
Yeah.
And so when someone is like, I can't use my phone because people could be listening, it's hard to have like a rational argument.
Yeah. Well, what I'm happy about in this story is it sounds like your parents are supportive and...
Oh, they're miracle workers.
Oh,
they're
that's
amazing.
so great.
And it did lead to a very fun time in our house, which was my fun, I say in quotation marks.
Does it sound real? Or is it in Olivia's brain?
No, I... in the like aftermath of that, I started like sort of this like manic binge of, I discovered the Tinkerbell movies.
Oh yeah.
And there are 6 of them. Which I didn't know. And I was just watching them on repeat, like as because I couldn't focus on anything else. And my parents had this trip to Argentina planned for like 3 years, and so I couldn't be left alone. So I was shipped off to my aunt's house to be like watched. And my mom, when she dropped me off, I was 27, just like I was 7. She was like, listen, she's only watching the Tinkerbell movies, so you're going to have to do that with her. Have a great time.
She likes Lunchables.
Yeah, she likes Lunchables. Her nap time is 3 to 4. And every member of my family has watched a Tinkerbell movie with me at some point.
That's amazing.
That's really, really nice.
But I also share a Disney Plus account with my whole family, and so if a Tinkerbell movie pops up, I'll get a call from someone that's like, so is everything okay? All right.
What do you think it was about those movies? By the way, I believe friend of the show, Maddie Taylor, worked on those movies as an animator.
Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful.
Is that what it is? Is it something about
I've had like an obsession with like living in a mushroom and like being a fairy since I was very small.
I'm going to say you stay away from mushrooms.
I like
particularly. I'm just from the first half of our show.
Well, fun fact about mushrooms is that Amanita muscaria are the little red ones with the white polka dots.
We just talked about those.
Yeah, who are like the most magical looking ones.
Yes.
Like the Smurfs live in those. They're so beautiful. Could kill you, which I've always thought was kind of funny.
We did talk about that.
But the Tinkerbell movies, I've thought about this before because it's strange because they feel so safe and beautiful and magical. But actually, in every movie, something completely catastrophic happens on stakes that are so much higher than I've ever existed. It's like fall isn't going to come. Like the season is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And the world's going to freeze. Or like the pixie dust tree will die and all of fairy life as they know it will end forever. Like no one will ever fly or do magic again, which are stakes I've never had to comprehend with. So I don't know why that's an escapist watch for me.
Well, they have wings.
They do have wings.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
And there's literal tinkers, right? Like they're different parts of the fairies, and she's a tinker, which means she fixes things.
Yeah, so she's named Tinkerbell because she's a tinker fairy, which is like a talent. And when I told my mother that, she was like, so they're just named for what they do? Like someone could be Slaughterbell? And I was like, why is that the first?
It's not public domain yet. Wait till that happens.
Yeah, so that was kind of intense. But yeah, Tinkerbell. Rosetta is a flower fairy.
Okay.
Iridessa, light.
Okay.
Silver Mist is water. The cast is insane. It's Mae Whitman, Kristen Chenoweth, Lucy Liu, Raven Simone, Angelica Houston voices the Queen of the Fairies.
Holy moly!
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
No one direct to
Direct to video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first one I think was
I think so.
I don't know why. I think Oliver was the right age at when the first one came out, which is why I know that one. I don't think I saw them after that, but that's we all have to have our comfort.
Yes.
I just saw a thing on. Did I hallucinate this? I think I just saw a thing about why some adults they find it comforting to sleep with a stuffed animal. Yeah, so we all need our security blankets.
Everybody has their thing that gives them comfort.
While I couldn't sleep this last week, I was watching Antiques Roadshow. I just put Antiques because it's so calming and like it's the most low key, slow, like quiet thing you can imagine. Even when they get excited, they're like,
where does it fall in the realm of Great British Bake Off? More or
Great British
slower,
Bake Off
or?
is you're into it. You're like rooting for someone.
Okay. So the stakes.
Yeah, this is just low and slow.
Yeah.
Keep them low and slow. Yeah. It. I would be in and out of sleep, like seeing it, and so. But yeah, we all need our comfort stuff.
Yeah.
So I get it. Wow, Olivia, thank you so much. That was such a great story.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah.
Oh my God. I hope you're okay now. You're doing well.
I'm doing great.
That's
I'm doing
great.
really good.
I'm so excited to hear that. And I'm really excited about your birthday with the PowerPoints.
Yes, thank you. I will.
And I want to hear all about it.
I know. I'm already figuring out which PowerPoint I'm going to do for your party.
Do you have a thought?
She's going to crash.
I would love to hear.
I'm just going to show up and I don't know. I don't know what mine would be. Do you guys know what yours would be?
Well, I would be in a group and I would let them do all the work.
Oh,
Garen.
And then I'll read my line, whatever it is.
that they tell you to read.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would be the one probably doing all the work in your group.
Same.
Yeah.
Damn
I'm a much
it.
better student now than I was, well, not now, but later in life than I
Yes.
was as a kid. I was not fond of school.
You just
As a
come in at the
child.
end and be like, and that was the Louisiana Purchase.
And then everyone bows.
Yeah.
And I nailed it. Walking back to his desk.
Yep. Perfect.
Well-
Louisiana Purchase.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
It's a very exciting time.
30, I'm very excited.
It's a
I
good
can't
one.
wait to not be in my 20s.
Yeah, 30s
Yeah.
are so much better than 20s.
Yeah,
I can't
agreed.
even tell you.
Agreed.
God, it's a good time.
Yeah. Thank you again. We really
Yes.
appreciate it. And we will be back right after this with What Did We Learn Today?
Much.
Chris,
Danielle,
are you ready to learn what we learned today?
I'm begging for it.
Reds is a 1981 American epic historical drama film co-written, produced, and directed by Warren Beatty about the life and career of John Reed, the journalist and writer who chronicled the October Revolution in Russia in his 1919 book, 10 Days That Shook the World. Beatty stars in the lead role alongside Diane Keaton as Louise Bryant and Jack Nicholson as Eugene O'Neill. Oh, Eugene O'Neill, the playwright?
I believe so.
I didn't know it was like based on a true story.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
I've definitely not seen it.
And I didn't know it was from the 80s, but just barely the 80s.
Speaking of books or things based on real stories,
Yes.
we were talking about I can't remember his name. The fucking writer. The Devil in the White City.
David Gran.
Nope.
It's the other guy.
The other guy.
Yeah.
And-
Eric Larson.
Eric Larson. And so I was looking through to find a new book to read by
Yeah.
him. And it turned out I had read the Nazi one
Ah.
a long time ago.
Yes.
The one where the guy's the ambassador to Germany. That's really good. So now I'm reading, I don't really know what it's about except that this guy is like the captain of a ship and there's a murderer couple on board.
Yeah, that's another one I was like, oh, Sven and I should listen to that because we'd probably be into it.
Yeah, so far so good. Hands-off protest organizers say that millions of people turned up from coast to coast. Over 1,400 hands-off mass action protests were held at state capitals, federal buildings, congressional offices, Social Security headquarters, parks, and city halls throughout the entire country. Anywhere we can make sure they hear us, organizers said. Hands-off demands an end to this billionaire power grab.
I think 3.5 million people
Wow.
was a number.
Barely got a blip in the New York Times.
I think no mention.
Yeah,
no,
there
it
was
did. It
barely
did.
coverage.
It got covered, but it was not like it was the main story in the LA Times.
I don't understand how it wasn't the cover of the New York
And
Times.
I was like, so Saturday, I looked, like later to see, and I was like, why isn't this being covered?
Yeah.
And it was like a sort of down the back, sort of low
Yeah.
in the New York Times. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they're going to do a big story on it for Sunday because it's, the Sunday paper. Nope. And I'm like, how is this not? This is a huge protest, and it really frustrated me because
I'm so pissed because I just signed up for the New York Times.
But it's like weird because they're usually on it for that kind of stuff.
Well, are they owned by
No,
someone who
they're not.
I don't understand
They're
it
not.
then.
They're not owned by like a big. I mean, they're very good at like picking apart the administration and calling
Yeah.
out their shit. So it's not. It's not that.
I don't understand it.
I don't either.
There are a lot of wild mushrooms in the world, and more than a few can kill us. So maybe just, I don't know, leave them alone?
I'm not going to bother them.
Sounds good. Weirdly enough, the symptoms after consuming a deadly mushroom are not dissimilar from eating at Little Caesars.
Well, Little Caesars is going to come after us now. Thanks a lot, Garen.
Look,
It's like you're trying to
eat it.
not get free stuff.
I
You
eat
eat it.
look,
It's
I put
awful.
up with the.
It's grade
a
school
Michigan
pizza.
thing. It kind of is.
What do you mean it's a Michigan
It's from
thing?
Detroit. It's a Detroit.
Is that where you order your pizza from? Is Little Caesars?
Sometimes.
Okay.
This is the crazy bread. The crazy bread is.
You
I get
are so
Amicis.
Midwest, man.
I
There's
know.
so many good pizza places that you could be ordering from.
Amici's is where I order from mostly now.
Hilarious.
When Oliver was little, he insisted that Little Caesars was his favorite pizza.
Yeah,
And we're
kids like
you're
bad
not
pizza."
part of our family.
Yeah.
Like,
my kids will be like, why can't we just get, because we'll get from like good places. And they'll be
Yeah.
like, can't we just get Domino's? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then I'm like, oh, you're a child.
honestly, we get Domino's only because there aren't any good places that deliver to us. So
Yeah.
if we want pizza, I mean, if you get the thin crust,
You're excused.
it's okay.
If
But
it's your only option, look, I don't
think
want
it's
to.
our only
I don't want to
option.
rag on people who like Domino's and
No, it's
and
not
Little
good.
Caesars, but it's like we also do live somewhere generally because we live in a city
Yeah.
where we have some like pretty good options.
Yeah.
For identifying mushrooms, consider apps like Shroom ID or Picture Mushroom, which use image recognition and AI to help you identify mushrooms by taking or uploading a photo. But still, would you want to
You want to trust it? I don't
trust
know.
that? That's so scary.
AI isn't that invented by Elon Musk?
No.
Didn't he invent AI? I don't.
I don't know. Did
didn't
he?
invent
No,
it.
he didn't
think
invent
so.
it. He's just propagating. He's just making money off of things.
There is a difference between the good AI, and there is good AI, and then the generative, not good AI that steals from people.
Accidentally or purposely eat a forest mushroom? Try and write down everything you know about it. Take a picture. Whatever info you can give to the doctor could save your life.
Guys, I know he didn't invent AI. I was just being stupid.
Oh, okay. I mean, the thing about him is actually that he didn't invent anything.
I know.
Like
He's-
every company,
Yes.
like Tesla, he purchased.
Yes.
And he doesn't, whatever.
He just he had a lot of money from his dad, and he
Is that what it is?
yeah, I mean, when he was a tech bro early on in Silicon Valley, he sold one of his startups that became PayPal, right? Isn't that the story? But like he didn't even come up with that. Like
No,
it
everything
was
he's done, he's jumped on board.
Yeah.
Someone else.
He knows how to fire people.
he does.
Do you see him streaming his video game from his private jet
No.
on Starlink? And you could see the game, and in this kind of game, you can see the chat. And it was kill yourself, and you're a monster.
He plays as himself. People, he's calling
because
himself.
he's streaming live.
Right.
People can see where he is and what he's
okay,
doing.
gotcha.
So, and he's getting all these whispers and messages of just absolutely,
didn't
you're a
see
piece
it.
of shit. You're a all
And they're
sorts
all
of
coming from
horrible
his
things.
daughter.
Yeah, right.
And you can't. He'll like mute people so you can't see it, but it just keeps
That's
going.
funny.
And then he loses to like a tutorial boss, which is like an intro boss that teaches you the game.
You can lose to the person who teaches to the
But like
setting that teaches you the game.
Yeah, like it's like an entry level boss.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I don't know this game very well, so it I could be wrong on that, but that's just what I saw someone say.
That's really funny.
But it's very, you know what?
So-
you reap what you sow, dude.
Well, Black Mirror is starting, so I can distract myself.
Oh,
with
so
that.
many things are starting.
Yeah.
We've got a lot, guys. We've got, well, you guys are done with Handmaid's Tale. I'm going to see it through probably.
Wow.
I barely started
Oh, I
Handmaid's
gave
Tale.
up.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, guys. I don't know
could
why.
not do it.
And
Hacks is coming back.
Hacks for sure. Super excited. Still going to keep watching The Studio.
Yeah.
Righteous
We talked
Gemstones.
before the show about G20.
I don't know what that is.
It's Viola Davis as the president at the G20, and it gets like taken over by terrorists.
Is this a movie or a TV
It's
show?
a movie. It's on Prime Video Friday, the 10th, whatever the 10th is. It starts. I can't wait. It's Die Hard at G20, and Viola Davis is Bruce Willis.
Okay. I'm not
I'm
saying
in.
no.
I
That
can't-
sounds like something I could watch with my kids.
I cannot
Sounds
wait.
preposterous, but maybe it'll be fun.
Looks like
It's
a
hard
blast.
with movies. It's hard because there's so. I mean, I haven't even seen Nora yet. So for me to sign on for like that, I have such a backlog of like great
Yeah.
movies I haven't seen yet that, you know, it'd have to be like we're gonna watch a movie with the kids, and then there's still so many great movies with the kids that I'm like, oh, I realized, oh, we should watch Muriel's Wedding or like Ocean's 11. Like there's all
Oh,
these sort
yeah.
of old
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Yes.
If we have time, we will all try to watch Holland.
Oh, right.
The-
Holland. It's a
Because
Nicole Kidman
it's a
vehicle.
Nicole Kidman
Guys,
joint. We
she's
have
our
to-
she's our person.
She's our person.
She's
we have to
she's the
try.
show mascot.
I don't understand how there's been several Nicole Kidman projects that I have never heard of.
No.
Because there's so many, you can't keep up.
It is
Remember
kind
that
of
sketch
weird.
on SNL like a couple years ago where it was like it was a game show sketch and it was like all these shows that were these real shows that starred huge actors that no one had ever heard of that were currently on
Yes,
the air when the
yes.
sketch was being. It was so funny. It was like, how is this possible? How is
yeah.
this
This is
possible?
the entire Apple TV lineup.
Yes,
Yes.
it's crazy.
It is. It used to be they would never do TV, and now they're all just in TV all the time.
But somehow you don't hear about it. I
No.
mean, I live in this, or rather, when I go to the freeway, I pass this intersection that has like all Amazon like billboards, like gigantic
Yeah.
billboards, like 5 of them. So you'll see things for like the same show, like 5 huge
Yeah.
billboards. So that's how I saw the Holland thing. I wouldn't know it exists except for those gigantic billboards.
Well, have you thought about signing up for Google alerts on Nicole
I
Kidman?
have not.
You don't want more emails in your
Oh
inbox?
my God.
A friend of mine, he does drag, and he sent me a Snapchat of he's rhinestoning these pants or something, and he's talking over it, and he's doing we come to this place for magic. He's making her suit.
I love that suit.
From
Yeah,
that
it's
commercial.
Okay, that's
Really good.
iconic.
Is gonna have a cosplay or whatever.
Oh my God, yeah, that's
When I get it. or when
Does he
does it, I'll show you.
perform as a drag?
No, he's a TikTok guy. I don't know if he's gonna do, because he just moved out here, so I don't know if he's gonna start doing like going to bars and doing drag that way, or if he's just gonna keep doing it TikTok wise or whatever.
I love the suit. I love that we don't know what happens to her coat. And I love that that's what she wears to go to a movie. That
Yes.
just makes me... I've never seen that woman in a pair of jeans and a T-shirt.
No.
And you never will.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
No one questions where that cup of soda comes from. That's just in the theater.
None of it makes
She
any
sits
sense.
with it.
That's
I'm
why
like,
it's so
"What are you
great.
doing?"
It's so ethereal and weird. All right.
Okay,
Well,
guys,
I think that's about it.
we
did it.
did our Nicole Kidman corner.
Yeah.
Kidman
Kidman corner with the
Kidman
K.
corner. Yes, both K's. And so I think our work is done here.
Yeah.
And until next time, remain calm.